Rekieta. Let's do that. Nick Rekieta has been banned from YouTube. He's a lawyer from here in Minnesota. He's had a YouTube channel. It's done very, very well. From what I'd heard, it was the second highest grossing super chat channel on YouTube.
That's pretty impressive, actually.
That's incredibly impressive. Good for Nick Rekieta. But apparently he got into it with this Keffels girl
Keffels
it's fucking 20.
person.
It's 2022.
You can say person.
I have no idea what anyone is anymore. I want to just go back to the days where we called people what they looked like. You know, I always thought that if you called someone a sir and they went, excuse me, I'm not a sir. I was like, yeah, but isn't that kind of your fault?
Yeah, like how was I supposed to know?
You look like a guy.
It's a man.
It's a man. So I don't know who this Andy Signori is, so don't be like, oh, you picked one from Popcorn Planet. That guy sucks dick. I don't know who any of these people are. But he's the guy who had the clip that apparently got Nick Rekieta all these people all worked up about Nick Rekieta and wanted to mass flag him. We pretty much have it confirmed now at this point that the Nick Rekieta ban was a result of a mass flagging operation.
Okay, and have you watched the clip of what he said yet?
We're about to. I have, and I'll tell you the mistake he made. Taking this shit too seriously. Not making jokes, letting it get to him, losing his cool over it. That's all these guys end up getting bit by that bug. Yep. That's why I always say, like, don't just, guys, no matter how much it bothers you. How many times have you seen me close stories because I go, we're not doing that one. It's going to wreck my mood.
A lot.
I've done it a lot. Because you got a vibe of a show going. You don't want to fuck it up with, oh, I know I'm going to rage at that one. It's going to make me feel good on the inside, but my audience is going to be like, oh, this party sure died.
Oh, yay, another kids at a drag show story.
Right. I have a limit for kid drag show stories. Because my opinion is, I can't go there and tear the whole thing down myself. So why am I going to put myself through watching this?
Yep.
I have no impact on
It's infuriating.
So Nick Rekieta started going off on this Keffels. Keffels got her people to not only report and flag his YouTube channel, which worked, and I hope upon review that Nick gets his channel back, but who knows, but they also started reporting him to the bar.
Oh, stop it.
Right.
Come on.
They reported Nick Rekieta to the bar, and they, all that shit. And this is the best video I've had or I've seen so far that I've come across explaining the whole thing is Popcorn Planet's video. This is what happened to Nick Rekieta. This is the clip. Let's you guys decide for yourself.
Here it is.
You deserve to be affected. And Keffels, you're giving life-changing treatments to minors? You go on the fucking wall.
By the way, I will say that what is comical about this Popcorn Planet guy has the worst bleeps in the world.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Like that was him bleeping while not muting the audio.
Yeah.
But which is easy, by the way. In editing, I know this, and I'm me, my technical skills limited. In editing, you literally highlight the audio track, like that wave of the word, and segment. You generate a tone. It's called generate tones, and you put a bleep in there.
Sure,
that's all it is. I've done it a million times.
Well.
Yeah,
right next to every other groomer, every other child molester, and every other fucking pedophile on the planet.
These are the worst beeps ever.
Why even do it?
Right, I have no idea.
Like, do you think that saves you somehow?
I guess.
What?
You are disgusting. Let them turn 18 and make their decisions when they're legally capable. And if you can't do that, you should consider finding a steamroller to let run over you. You fucking disgusting pile of shit.
All right.
I mean, certainly pointed commentary, to be sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think the problem that YouTube might have, and this is one of those rants where if everyone would have left it alone, nobody, like YouTube wouldn't have found it on their own and punished him. Yeah. This has to be a guy with a target on his back. And again, like I like Nick Rekieta. I do. He's a Minnesota guy, first of all. I love Nick Rekieta. I think what happened to him is wrong. However, on Nick Rekieta's end of it, once you become a guy and you're a guy who people love and a guy who people hate. I fully believe Steel Toe is on its way there, and it will get there someday. Right now, about 5,300 subscribers or whatever, 3,000 views or so for our morning shows. Like, we're under the radar.
Yes.
You know, we're in a nice middle spot.
We're growing.
But when we get to 10, 15, 20,000, there's going to start, you're going to have to start doing a little bit of a slalom, so to speak. You're going to have to make it between the gates. And when a guy like Nick Rekieta gets to the level he's at, he's, I'm not telling him to censor himself, but you got to play the game smart. And letting your emotions get the best of you and telling Keffels that they should be up against the wall, which is an execution reference. There's no way around it.
Yes.
Again, I think, look, if it's Aaron's platform, he's allowed to say it. With every other groomer and everything like that and all that stuff.
I mean, you can have that opinion.
You can have that opinion, if you ask me. But it's not my platform. And we know what YouTube's rules are. And again, in fairness to YouTube, if he had just said this and nobody said a thing about it, they never would have found it, Karen.
I know. You would have gotten away with it too.
But you've made enemies with this Keffels. And this Keffels is clearly someone who cannot take criticism and every time they're criticized, then you're a transphobe and you hate trans people. And the Keffels has made themselves the spokesperson for trans shit now.
No.
And they're going to flag you and they're going to come after you. So in my opinion, I look at a Keffels, and if I'm the size of Nick Rekieta, I just go like this. Not important. I got better things to do than fuck around with a Keffels.
I agree.
I'll give you an example. If we were big enough and this Salvo Pancakes thing got back to him, and it was Steel Toe versus Keffels, I'll do the dozens with, or not Keffels, Pancakes. I'll do the dozens with Salvo Pancakes. We might talk shit about each other back and forth. He ain't going to flag me.
No.
He's not going to report me. He's not going to do any gay shit. Let's say Mersh and I had a falling out of some sort. If he didn't think Steel Toe was funny anymore, so I hated Nightwave, blah, we had this back and forth. I know Mersh isn't going to mass report me.
Nope.
And I know he's going to encourage his fans not to do that. We're just going to talk shit about each other. But when you're dealing with a Keffels, it's no fun to go in. And to me, that's what these beefs are. If I'm going to be in one, it's because they're fun.
Right. You enjoy the back and forth?
I enjoy the back and forth. I like the content. I legitimately enjoy it because the internet is not my life. I can have this fight on the internet and then take the kids to the apple orchard. Those are two completely separate lives.
Yeah, I also don't want to live my life like on the internet. Like I do the show is very fun for me, but
Right.
I don't want to be stuck here after the show's over.
Therefore, I'm not going to get in a beef with somebody who lives their life that way.
I agree. My biggest problem with what Nick did here was that he could have said his part about, hey, just wait till the kids are 18 so they can make their own decisions. Please don't encourage them. He could have said all that stuff without saying the up against the wall with the groomers and stuff.
Child molester.
You could have kept that part out and still said your humble opinion of let the kids make their decision when they're 18.
And the other part of this that someone like me doesn't have to worry about, or a Royce and Mersh or anyone like that they don't have to worry about. Nick, you're a fucking lawyer, dude. You got a law practice.
That's what confuses me about him, I guess, is if he's a lawyer, why does he bother being like this on the internet? Like, I feel like you don't need this and you've already got enough on your plate.
Exactly. And if you're Keffels, you can now take this to the bar and goes, well, the lawyer in this, would he give a trans person a fair defense and blah, blah, blah. I mean, you don't, look, what Keffels did to mass flag Nick Rekieta was wrong. Nick Rekieta handed her a fully loaded gun and said, aim for my chest, bitch.
It was funny you brought that up because as soon as you brought this story up at all, I was sitting here thinking, like, if you're a lawyer, you've got to be able to defend anybody.
Right.
So who are you to be taking sides on the internet? I feel like you can't do that.
It's a little rough. Yeah.
Because-
And aren't lawyers, like, when they talk about shit's typically the most careful people on earth?
I think so. That's why he's so confusing.
Again, I like Nick. I think he should have his channel back. That doesn't mean that I'm stupid and I can't see where this could lead to a bad place for Nick.
I just feel like when you weigh all of the aspects he's got going on in his life, this shouldn't be something that he's involved in.
When it comes to talking into one of these for a living, You can be entertaining and funny and, yeah, eat a shit sandwich once in a while because you want to keep your platform. Or you can be Mr. Balls Out. I'll wave the flag and I'll storm the gates and I'll storm the beaches and everything. And we'll fucking see you on cozy.tv.
Yep.
You know, we'll see you on Rumble. All right, fine. Me, it ain't worth it to me. That ain't a hill I'm going to die on. I've always been here to have fun.
Well, we like it here. We know we have to be careful, too.
If we make a point, we make a point. Awesome. But, Nick, ranting and raving about this shit, one, you're making yourself miserable, and two, it's clear over the last 20, 30 years, the needle ain't moving.
No.
It ain't changing anything, so you're just making yourself mad and angry. Look, man, we're all preaching to the converted anyway. My audience knows how I feel about this shit. I know how they feel about this shit. I ain't moving the needle by doing a serious commentary on it. We're all talking to each other here.
I wonder that too about him because obviously his audience on his show would know how he feels already. I feel like you don't need to go that hard in the paint on something. So at some point, I feel like that's just him jerking off about the subject.
And again,
for his people to go, yeah, man, get him.
75% of this Keffel's fame is people shitting on her. If you just keep her name out of her mouth, she'll wither and die. She doesn't have anything but drama. Let her live on something else. So let's watch a little bit more of this Popcorn Planet. By the way, I don't dislike this guy. I don't know anything about him. So if people are going, oh, you piece of shit, Popcorn Planet. Sometimes these YouTube people have reputations. I don't give a shit. If I like a guy, I like a guy.
All right, there it is. Now, my opinion on his statement doesn't matter because let's talk about the facts. Let's talk about the accusation.
So there's, okay, you know what? I have to thank Birdman who sent this same tweet to me. This is Keffel's point of view, I believe is what POV means.
Yes.
This is from Nick Rekieta's. So she got him flagged off of YouTube. She got him flagged off of Twitter as well. He lost his Twitter a couple weeks ago. Keffels wrote, POV, you threatened to line me up against the wall and shoot me, and then doxed all my followers who sent complaints about your conduct to the Minnesota Bar Association. Now, I don't know if that second one's true. Doxing is gay. I don't have any idea if this is true or not. But I do know the first accusation is true. And this is what I mean by he gave her all the ammunition she needed. I like Nick. I want him to get his YouTube channel back. But when you play this fucking social justice game with everybody, when you want to be, I'm going to bust the SJWs instead of, I'm just going to make fun of these weirdos.
It's not a winning game to play.
Right? It's not a winning game to play.